Hey guys, Nathan here from Running Warehouse Australia. Today, Aleisha and I are going to take you through our review of the new On Cloudmonster Hyper. On have taken their popular Cloudmonster, removed the speed board from it, added a new Pebax core into that midfoot, forefoot, and have really amped this up. All right, let's go through the specs. On has a men's size 10 weighing in at about 270 grams, a women's size 7.5, they have 210 grams. It has 37.5 mil in the heel, 31.5 mil in the forefoot for a 6 mil heel to toe drop. So I put about 50 or 60 Ks on the pair I've been wearing, and I've taken them through a lot of different runs, easy 30-minute runs, 90-minute jogs for my longer runs, and a lot of different paces as well, from just under 4 minutes a K up to 4:30, 4:40 a K. And they've proven to be quite versatile on foot. I think a lot of that versatility comes from the midsole and that new Helion HF Pebax core that they have in there, which is encapsulated by On's Helion foam. That Pebax core is mainly in the midfoot, forefoot, and as someone who is more of a midfoot, forefoot striker, I found it to really be soft and plush on landing and then gave me a nice responsive toe off. Now, it doesn't have as much of that Pebax in the heel, so I do wonder if a heel striker is going to find these as fun as I did. Moving on up to the upper. Now, I found this to be quite a substantial and roomy upper. I do have a slightly narrow foot and I had to really lace it up tight to get a nice midfoot lock down. I think with someone with a slightly wider foot, they're going to really enjoy these. The upper was also quite a substantial upper. Now, that isn't a knock on the upper. I just think it's going to be quite a durable upper. This is for a daily trainer after all, and you want that extra durability in the upper. Now, whilst I had to lock down the laces nice and tight to get a good midfoot lockdown, it did have a little bit of padding on the tongue, so I didn't feel any hot spots or pressure on the top of my foot. I also found for me that the little bit of padding in and around the heel was quite nice. I didn't have an issue with any of that around the heel and ankle. Moving on down to the outsole. Now, we get a decent amount of rubber on the outsole. There are a few exposed areas, and again, having worn On previously, I've never really had an issue with too much wear on the outsole, and I think these are going to be quite durable. As I keep saying, they are a daily trainer, so you're going to get a fair amount of wear from this outsole, I think. All in all, I was pleasantly surprised by the new Cloudmonster Hyper from On. We've got the new Cloudmonster 2, we've got the Cloudmonster Hyper. They kind of seem to be doing two similar things. I feel as though the Hyper maybe could have been the Cloudmonster 2. I think that Pebax core really made it a fun shoe, and I think we can definitely put this in that super daily trainer category. I think it's more for the easy runs, longer runs, where you're gonna get the most fun or benefit out of this shoe. I don't think it's quite as versatile as, say, something like the New Balance Super Comp Trainer, which I'd maybe wear in a race. I probably wouldn't race in these, but for some faster tempo-y stuff, just not race day stuff, I would definitely put on the Cloudmonster Hyper. But that's my thoughts on the new On Cloudmonster Hyper. Over to Aleisha for her thoughts.
Thanks, Nathan. Now here are my thoughts on the new On Cloudmonster Hyper. Let's start with the top of the shoe. We have the engineered microfiber upper. I did find this to be nice and breathable and very comfortable to run in. I did find that the toe box was slightly wide for my liking, so if you do have a bit of a wider foot, I definitely think you would like the shoe quite a bit. It's very accommodating. Moving on to the lacing. For me, I didn't find that I had, a secure lockdown fit. I definitely felt like I had to really tighten my laces, particularly when I was running fast as well, just because my foot didn't feel secure. I also wish the heel had, a little bit more padding, but maybe that's just me. I probably like something with a little bit more padding. But other than that, I think the top of the shoe is going to be very durable. Moving on to the midsole of the shoe, I found it to be quite soft and responsive, and it was pretty enjoyable to run in the shoe, particularly for like my longer and easier runs. I did throw a few sessions at it, so some faster stuff, thresholds and tempos. I don't think it quite had the speed for the faster efforts, so I'd probably, keep it up to anything to tempo and just my easier runs. In the forefoot of the shoe, we have the Helion HF P-backs. This did offer quite a nice toe off, and I was able to experience this a bit when I was running faster. However, I do wish it ran through the entire shoe, as I'm a bit more of a heel striker, so I just wasn't able to feel it as much during my easier runs. If you are someone who runs on your toes and in your midfoot, I think you're actually going to really enjoy running in this shoe. So I was able to test the shoe on various types of terrains, and I found it to be quite grippy and durable. I would be interested to know how it would go in the wet conditions, just because it's a bit hot here in Australia at the moment. Overall, I quite enjoyed running in the On Cloudmonster Hyper. Now, it's not quite as versatile as I was hoping it would be, such as a shoe, like the Saucony Endorphin Speed 4, which offers quite a bit of versatility. So with the On here, I would probably just keep it for my longer and easier runs. So if you have a wider foot, I think you're definitely going to like the shoe, as well as if you're a bit more of a forefoot and midfoot runner, you're definitely going to quite like the nice toe off that this shoe has to offer. And that's our thoughts on the new On Cloudmonster Hyper. You can find this online at Running Warehouse Australia, runningwarehouse.com.au.